If you're joining, thanks for joining. We're gonna do some crochet. Let me see, let me make it a little bit lower. We're gonna crochet and do some talking because I have to continue to move forward. That is my mantra this year. My mantra this year is keep moving forward, no matter what. Keep moving forward. I am working on the waistband for my pants. I had to do it all completely over. I had a different waistband and then I unraveled and did the whole thing over. So I'm starting over. Um, it's been this. Listen, when I say unexpected, I mean unexpected. There's been a lot of unexpected things going on that I'm in shock, but I'm not surprised because I'm in shock, but I'm really not surprised. And I'm gonna tell my truth, always and forever. So, a couple of days ago, I went to New York, and I went for because um, my kids are in New York, and they've been in New York for the past 9 months. I no longer live in New York, and um, their father did not want them to move to another location, and I could not move without his permission. But I was getting evicted. Like my parents did not want me to live where I was living. They didn't want me to live like there anymore. And they served me with an eviction letter stating that I leave. They gave me until January 22nd, which was fine because by the time then, like literally when they first gave me the eviction letter, I already knew I was moving because I already had everything in the works. Like I already had everything. I was doing interviews, I was looking for a job, everything was coming about. And um so when time got closer to my move, I didn't know that I had to ask their father for permission to move. So um, I had went to the courts, and the courts basically explained to me that because in our custody battle, because I had two. This is my second custody battle with my kid's father, and the first one we settled. Um, He wanted to see the kids every other weekend and that they would live with me full time and that they had residential custody. We had joint custody, but at the end of the day, I had the final say. That is what the custody form says. That is what is under our agreement. So relocation was the only thing that I didn't get done, but I didn't think that I was gonna relocate earlier than I have. I thought I would stay in New York one more year and then relocate, but God had his plans and God relocated me quicker, faster than I thought. So, um, the judge had explained to me that I cannot take my kids without the father's permission. So I asked him, I said, can I relocate the kids? I'm moving, I got a job, all of this stuff. He said no. Let me tell you something, I'm very persistent. Like very persistent. I think I asked this man every day over the 2 weeks that I had left in New York. Every day I asked him, "Can you? I don't want to live without my kids. I can't imagine being without my kids. All of this stuff." Finally, I had my judge who did the custody forms. She finally saw us because they had they made it earlier because they knew I was getting evicted, and they knew that I wasn't gonna have a place to stay. I wasn't gonna have any way of figuring out. So she so we finally got to see her, and upon seeing her, we upon seeing her, she stated that the kids can temporarily stay with the father until we get the relocation settled. So I'm like, I did not want to do that because I knew that things were gonna go the way that they're going now. And but I had no choice. If I had took my kids with me, I would have my it would have led into a bigger, which I think I should have risked that bigger problem than the one that I'm having now. But anyway, it could have led to a bigger issue. The kids could have had to they could have came and got the kids. It could have been a whole big thing, bigger than what it was. But I think I should have probably done that than anything else, than what I'm going through right now. But anyway, so yeah, so the kid's been in New York this whole time, and um, I just came back from New York because I had to go to court again, and he's still trying to settle, give him residential custody of the kids, and I'm like, no, I'm fighting so hard for my kids, like I'm fighting so hard. Like I've been with my kids since they were born, of course, but like I've been doing it by myself over the last since 2021. Like he literally almost killed me. The day that I left, I knew it was something inside of me, and I said, Sierra, you're gonna die here. And I left. I left with my kids, and I left. I just left. I packed up my shit and I left. And I stayed at my family's house. My family's situation is a whole nother thing. But anyway, um, and I stayed at my family's house, and I was at my family's house from 2024 until January of this year. And from 2021, excuse me, until January of this year. And it was so miserable. And then my kids got older. It was just bad. Like it was just bad. I was in a room with my kids for 4 years, like struggling. Like I was on public assistance, I was on like food stamps. I was like literally I didn't work. I had my work study jobs. Like I was doing work study because I was in the middle of school. I was doing work study. I was doing like any job I can do, like just to keep afloat for me and my kids, like to have something to pay for my car, to pay for things that are essentials. And I did it by myself. This man did not help me pay for their uniforms. He did not help me pay for school supplies. He did not help me pay for anything. He insisted that I struggle. He wanted me to struggle. And when you're with a person that is controlling, and when you're with a person that wants control over you because they have malice or they're spiteful. He's very spiteful, very malice, very bitter. When you're with that type of person, they try to control you, because in our relationship, that is what he did. He controlled my finances, he controlled where I went, he controlled who I talked to, he controlled everything. And when you're in that type of situation, and you finally break free from someone like that, they still try to have more control over you. And that the kids would be he knew that the kids would be one way for him to keep that control. So I so yeah, so time went on, and finally God is showing up. Finally, God is showing up. He is showing up. He is showing up. He is showing up. Some way, somehow, God brought somebody into my life that helped me get all of this situated. And from there, I'm like, okay, like hope came. Like hope came. Hope is alive again. Like I never and I because I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna stay in New York another year. I'm gonna do this for another year. But I applied for like, let me tell you, I got picked for affordable housing, and every time I got picked for affordable housing, it was like, oh, we filled up on your income section. If you know anything about New York City affordable housing, like they would say like, oh, we filled up on your income section, or like you're on the wait list. That's what they would tell me all the time. You're on the wait list. Literally July of 2024, July 17th, 2024, a lady came to me and she gave me something to put in my house, and she says, put this in your house. And I'm like, I don't have a house, girl. I'm living in I don't have a house. I don't have a home. I don't have nowhere. I don't have nothing. But that same day, I got a notification from Affordable Housing that said, you've been picked, submit your documents. I was like, oh my God, like I'm finally moving. I thought I would be moving by August, September. September comes, 2024, and they tell me that you no longer can be picked, you're on the wait list. So I'm like, my whole hope goes down, but hope goes down, but I still hope. Like something, that means that it's something else for me. So another months later, another apartment I got. I'm like, okay, Sierra, maybe this is it. This is every time I got my hopes up, it would just be down, and it would just get down. Another apartment tells me that no, your number wasn't picked. We filled up, whatever. So that happens, and then um, that happens, and then what else? After that, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, okay, God is just gonna do whatever He gonna do. So I basically like finish up school, finish up everything, and I'm just waiting I'm just waiting for God to say to move. And then something comes in my life and God says to move. I did not know I was going to move out of the city, but God said to move. So I took my chances on that. I said, you know what, things can actually go in a better direction if I do this. Let me try. Let me really give this let me really, really give this hope. Let me really, really like try to like go in this direction. Let me see what God can do if I go in this direction. So I choose to leave. So I choose to find a job in another state. I chose to do that, and I chose to look for a place. So I got the job, right? Looking for a place. When I was looking for a place, the place that I actually was supposed to move to, they were giving me a hard time because my job they couldn't verify any paperwork or anything that they wanted before I moved. They couldn't do that. So my job was like, the apartment was like, no, we can't take you or whatever. I got my money back from my deposit. Because you have to do like an application and stuff. I got my money back for that. But then I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, Sierra, maybe this is not right. Maybe you're not supposed to go. Maybe it's not gonna work out. And then I see another place, the place where I'm living at now. I see it like on I don't know, I was just Googling and I found it, and I start putting in the information, but I didn't finish it. I was like, I just gave up hope. I was like, it's not gonna work out. Let me not even deal with it. Let me figure out what else I can do. So at this point, I'm just figuring out. Maybe like a day or two later, the girl who works here, she gave me a call back and she was like, oh, do you want to finish your application and stuff? And I was like, I don't think you guys are gonna pick me because I don't have the verification. And then she's like, what are you talking about? Like, she literally was like, what are you talking about, and all this stuff. And I was like, the other apartments that I have to have this, that, and the third, and I don't have it because I'm moving, I'm going to a whole new job, da 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 da. She's like, you don't need none of that. She was like, do you have a job letter? I was like, do you have a job offer? And I was like, yeah, I got the job offer. Do you have the income on it? All of this stuff. And she was like, that's all you need. Like, just give us all your documents, and that's all you need. Literally 2 days later, I call her, or maybe a day later, I call her asking her if she had this type of amenity because I was looking for a certain amenity, and she was like, "Yeah, we have that." And then at towards the end, she was like, "And you got approved for the apartment." And I was like, I was so shocked, but I was scared because I'm moving to a new place. Like, I was so scared, like so scared. But I was also happy, but I also felt like God was playing a trick on me because I'm used to having disappointment in my life. And when you're used to having disappointment in your life, you don't take good things seriously. You don't take good things like the way you should be taking good things because you're used to having disappointment in your life. And I was used to having disappointment in my life. People disappointing me, being disappointed from the universe, from God, from everything. I was used to that. So then so everything works out. So this is like maybe 3 weeks before I actually am leaving. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta come up with the money. So I had money from a previous investments that I was like, I'm gonna use to pay it I don't know. Listen, when I tell you God shows up in ways, God shows up in ways because the previous investments was just enough for me to pay for the down payment, to pay for the first month's rent or whatever. Because the second, like, yeah. And then my stepfather had hit me over the head with a pan. So because of that, I had a domestic, it's considered domestic violence. And I had to go to the hospital. I got a police report. All of these things happened. And as that happened, they were telling me like, you shouldn't stay here. You know, you're not safe here. So the precinct in my neighborhood, they connected me to the district attorney's office, and they have a domestic violence, like this New York State helped pay for my move. They helped pay for my move. They helped pay for my moving expenses. They helped pay for my train ticket. They helped because that's what they do. They help domestic violence victims pay to get away from their perpetrators. And that is how I was able to move. And through that, so I was able to just pack my bags. I didn't have to worry. They paid for that expenses. All I had to worry about was putting a down payment for my apartment. And they, not they, but I had, from previous investments, I had found the money to do that. And I just thank God. Like, God really showed up for me in ways that I didn't know. Even from literally my stepfather hitting me over my head with a pan, a blessing came out of that. And I guess even in the moment of me being all of that, I don't know. It's just crazy. And I had just gotten my job offer. Just gotten my job had just gotten back to me and said, you got the job. Literally, maybe like the day before. And then that happened. It's just sad. It's just so sad. And then that happens. And so time goes on. Now, right? So my kid's father does not want my kids to come. We go to court. All of this stuff is happening, and I'm just like, I'm back at the wall. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Stay in New York and be homeless and not have a place to stay? Or do I go to the place where I have a job and I have a place, my first place finally, after all of the struggle that I've been through. So I decided to take it. Like, no, I'm like, I'd rather have a place over my head and things like that, and we can settle everything else later. Like, even I understand, like, I had to be without my kids, but for my kids would have been homeless, and they still, as my kids could have still been taken away because I would have been homeless, living on, I would have been living on New York City streets, like, or in my car with my two kids. Like, come on, just so I can think. Or, and it's so sad because my family and their father, they wanted to see me live in a shelter. They wanted to see me be on public assistance for the rest of my life. They wanted to see me be on food stamps, and they wanted to me to beg them for help. They wanted me to run back to them. They wanted me to go back to that relationship. Because literally, my stepfather, before I left, back in like maybe November, I was cooking one day and just minding my business. And I don't know what happened, but he got on the phone and then he started talking. And he was telling people, like, yeah, I'm kicking her out. He was like bragging about kicking me out to his sisters and to his brothers, and how oh yeah, he called him my old man. He was like, oh, her old man kicked her out. First of all, he didn't kick me out. I left because I did not want to die, so I left. And he was bragging about it, and I'm like, wow. And like, people always gonna reveal themselves to you, and you just have to see it. People are always gonna reveal themselves to you. You just gotta sit and be quiet and let things happen the way it's supposed to happen. And so I knew that he wanted the same thing for me. My kid's father. He wanted me to crawl. He wants me to, even now, everything that he's doing is because he wants me to come back. He wants that. He wants me to say that. He wants me to say that I need you. I can't do life without you. I this, that, and the third. And unfortunately my kids are suffering because of this. And I feel so bad, like, because my kids have to suffer because of this. But I have to also choose that I can't live that type of life. So now we're back in court doing a custody battle, and my kids, I now remind you, I've had custody over my kids for the last years. I've built a rapport with my kids. We've gotten our relationship on a higher standpoint. We are doing our family meetings. We're thriving. We're doing better at this point. And I get it. My choice to move was definitely something that just probably was hard for them too. But it was also going to be better. People, as humans, we are resilient enough to do it, but you have to be willing to be wanting to be resilient. So as time went on, he the kids started to their attorney had speculation that the kids were being manipulated, and that they were being coerced in saying that they don't want to come live with me, and they don't want to be with me, and all of these things. Now, my kids have been with me for years. No one ever, they never ever said that I don't want to live with my mom. I don't want to anything like this over the years. But because, and this is what a narcissist does, is they know how to manipulate even without manipulating you. So the kids feel like they have to choose. And I've always been looked at as the parent. I don't know why, but I've always been looked at the parent. And I think this is how I've always been looked at in my family too. because I've noticed that my kids look at me the same ways because I'm always being looked at as the different one, the one that, I don't know, I just cause problems or and things like that. Like that's how they look at me. But it's not that. It's the fact that I'm the disruptor. In every family we have a disruptor. We have somebody that does something different that's not out of their originality or what they see or what they go through. And we need people who are disruptors in our life because they're the ones that shake things up. They're the ones that bring change. And when you are a disruptor, and I don't know if you guys ever heard, it's a whole big thing about this being a disruptor. TD Jakes, he did a whole sermon about being a disruptor. Jesus was a disruptor because people did not like Jesus because he brought something different. People do not like disruptors. People do not like the black sheeps, the people that are just doing different and that's not to the norm. I don't conform to what other people are doing or to other what others are doing. I don't conform to that. I'm going straight and everybody else is going in the same direction. That's how it is. And that is who I am in my family. And um, so yeah, so time went on, and now I have come to, and this is also a healing video for me because I have to let go of my kids. And I'm not saying that I'm giving up on fighting for them or I'm giving up on letting their father win, but I cannot sit in the sadness of what's happening. I cannot sit in the changes in what's happening. I have to embrace them and understand that this is probably temporary. This is probably forever. I don't know. But you have to move on from things. And I can't let this weigh me down and stop me because honestly, and I took days off after I came back from New York because I was just in shock. I'm in shock still right now as to what's happening. And I just keep telling myself I'm so confused. Like I feel like I'm in like an alternate universe and I'm being played with. Like I feel like I'm like literally being played the biggest trick in my life because I went from being a mother to two kids every single day, making sure that I was cooking every single day, making sure that they had lunch, making sure that picking them up from school, doing homework, all of these things to now not having my children. I haven't even seen my boys. He's keeping me away from the boys. Like, purposely. Like, I asked him if he can bring them to the airport. Silence. Nothing. Like, I asked him if they can come to where I live. He said no. He doesn't want them to come to where I live. Um, it's just so sad. It's so sad. It's just so sad and I feel so bad and that's why I have to give up too because it's out of my control at this point. Today was a really bad day because I struggled with these boys for 4 freaking years by myself. This man did not pay me $1. He did not pay me a freaking dollar. I had to beg sometimes. I remember, I would never forget, and I'm telling you guys this because, and I'm telling all of this because there's people who are out there going through what I'm going through, and I want y'all to know that we have to bounce back. We cannot let, and we have to bounce back, but we also have to keep fighting. And we cannot let another person that has destroyed so much things in our life take over. And this is how we gain our power back. And this is how we win in the end. And it's not like winning like this is a cat and mouse game, but more like winning for yourself, because no one in this world should have to give up their freedom to be happy, to please someone else, because that is what he wants. He wants me to give up my new happiness and my new world and my new life so I can be miserable like him and be spiteful and like him, because I'm not letting none of this stuff that's going on change who I am on the deep down inside. No matter how angry I am, no matter how confused I am, no matter how sad I am, I'm still choosing love at the end of the day. I'm still choosing to love my children the same, even after they say all of the things that they say, even after they disown me, even after they do all of these different things. I'm still choosing to love them, because deep down inside, when they get older, my kids are going to know that my mom did fight for me. He kept me away from my mom. He kept me away. And I also want people to know that, like, you really have to, like, choose people in your life very, very carefully, because I was young when I met this guy. He's way older than me. Way older than me. I was very, very young when I met this man. Very young. And I let him manipulate and twist me and turn and just everything. If you were to see him and you were to see me, you would be shocked that I was with somebody like this. You would be shocked. And I want people to know that you have to be careful with who you bring into your life, what they do. Look out for the red flags. Look out for all of this. Look out for how they treat you and if they're spiteful. Because I saw the first times when he was abusive and I went back, the first times when he was spiteful and I went back, even when his family, I met his mom, and his mom, when his mom told me what she told me, that is when I should have left. I should have stopped right there, but I didn't see it. I was young. I was very, very young when I met this man. Very young. Very young. Did not have no wisdom, none of that. Like, none of that. None of that. I was just young and I was young. like, and he was way older than me. He's way older than me. And when you make those type of mistakes, and I'm not saying my kids are a mistake, but I made a mistake in being with that person and being with him, because it became where he was constantly, he controlled who I hung out with. He did he him and a lot of I mean a lot of my friends that I don't have anymore, the friends that I don't have anymore, actually is good that they're not in my life. But before that, he would cause a lot of problems between me and my friends, manipulating me to think certain things. Like, me and my friends would have arguments about him. Like, it wasn't good. It was just really, it was not good at all. And, but anyway, it got to a point where one day he asked me, and I'm not ashamed for it anymore about what I did, because this is my past. But one day he asked me, he says, I'll give you something if you can send pictures to me. And I was like, this was me being like, I was in a really hard time, like really desperate time at this point. And I had to do that. Like, I had to literally do that to keep clothes on my kids, like to make sure that my kids had something. He didn't help me. Like, it was times when I couldn't pay for sneakers. Nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. I had to go to my neighbor. She would help me. She helped me pay off my tickets. And I hate that I don't can't have that relationship with her anymore. But I can't have a relationship with her anymore because I don't trust her anymore, because she would go, I feel like she would go back and tell my mother things. But she helped me pay off, but I do appreciate everything she did for me. She helped me, she invited me to Sesame Place with her kids and um, my kids. We had a wonderful time. She helped me pay off my tickets. She helped me pay for clothes for my kids. She helped me pay for a lot of stuff for my kids because I could not afford it. Could not afford it. Like, and I would ask him, like, letting him know, like, oh, the kids have a play, they need a shirt, just a shirt, just a shirt. He didn't want to pay for it. And now everything that's happening within this court system and this and in this battle, I feel like I'm being punished because I chose to go in a direction for myself, and I chose to want a different type of life. And because I don't want to be in New York anymore. I didn't want to be. If y'all see, I think I posted it. If y'all see, I have a video in 2004, May of 2004. I had a breakdown, and in that video I am like, I don't want to be here anymore. New York is not where I want to be. Like, I just, that is when I knew that, okay, Sierra, it's really time to go. I just didn't know how it was going to play out. I just didn't know how it was going to play out. And, you know, oh, thank you so much. I'm reading her comment. Thank you, Fifi. But literally, I don't know. I'm fighting for my kids right now. Fighting, fighting, fighting. And now he's like, he wants to take me for child support and take me for all of this stuff. And I'm like, I struggled for years. You didn't give me a dime. And now you're trying to take away everything that I've built in the blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye. But you know what's so funny is that it's a saying that says, as fast as it comes is as fast as it goes. And I don't know. I heard that, like, as soon as, I don't know, but I heard that as fast as it comes is as fast as it go. When I got off the the virtual meeting, that's what I heard. I heard as fast as it comes is as fast as it goes. And when a person who is manipulative, conniving, spiteful, because I'm not gonna lie, when all of this is am I saying it right? Happening. While all of this is happening, I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to get myself together. I'm thinking to myself, okay, Sierra, you must have did something so bad that this is happening. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, what did you do? So I start reflecting. I start going within, like, okay, Sierra, did you do something? Did you not? What did you do? Like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, let's lay it all out, okay? Because let's lay it all out and see what you did, because you had to do something. I don't know. You had to. So I'm laying it all out and I'm just sitting there like, okay, but I didn't do, I've been working on myself. I've been keeping to myself. I've been, donating when I can. I've been trying to grow. I think I'm doing what I gotta do. I don't think I'm doing nothing wrong. I don't talk about nobody. I mind my business and drink my water. Okay. I'm just like, okay, like, I've been working on my career. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm just thinking to myself, like, what did I do? What did I do? And I'm just thinking, like, is it payback for me? Because I had to put him, like, if I didn't put him on things, me and my kids would be struggling. And it's so crazy because the child support didn't even come to me. It didn't even come to me. I didn't see not a dime of it. It went to the New York State. Okay? It went to the New York State. So I'm just thinking like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong. Like I'm just out here just trying to live my life. But anyway, um so yeah, so now it comes to a point where I'm like, I gotta let this go, and I'm just gonna have to see it through. And I'm just gonna have to let um, somebody else run the show with the kids for a while. I don't know, but I am It's definitely it's scary because it feels like forever. It feels like I'm losing them forever. It really, really does. And I know I'm not, but it feels that way. And it's scary to have this type of loss. To know that my kids is literally, to know that my kids are here on this earth and that they are not within my vicinity, they are not within my care, they are not within my atmosphere. Like, I can't make hot chocolate for them. I can't see them every day. I can't drop them off at school. That's scary. And that scares me because they're only getting older. I have boys. I have black boys, African American boys. And if you are a black woman raising boys who are going to be men, you know that you want to raise them the right way. And the longer that they stay within their father, they are not being raised the right way at all. He can take care of them, he can feed them, he can do those things, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, he don't have the capacity for that. He does not. And that is so sad, and it really hurts. It's not even hurting, it hurts me for the boys, but it's gonna hurt the boys for their future. And I feel so bad that, that my kids have to go through this. They feel like they have to pick sides. They feel like they can't, they have to feel like they tell secrets. They have to feel like they can't talk to, all of these different things. I just feel bad. But going through a custody battle, man, is hard. But I'm gonna fight as much as I can, but I'm not gonna let it deplete me. I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna let it just put a halt on my plans and on my future and on what I want to do. I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna let that be the end. And that is why I'm also telling this, because don't let things that people or things that try to stop you be the end for you, because it's more to grow. And it right now, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the next couple of months. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know. But what I do know is that I will be alive and I will survive, as I always have. And it's gonna be days when I break down and cry, and it's gonna be days when I laugh and smile. It's gonna be days when I miss my children with all of my heart. It's gonna be days when I don't go when it's gonna be just it's just gonna be days with different emotions and different things. But I will choose to keep going. And that is why I want people to know, choose to keep going. Don't let anyone try to stop you. Just keep moving and keep going. It's coming out good. This is my waistband. Getting the waistband together. It looks good. But definitely keep going. That is my little spiel for you guys and an update on my life. In case anyone wanted to know, I updated, because I haven't updated you guys on my life in a long, long time and what's going on and how things are actually going for me, especially for my subscribers that's been with me for a long time. You guys have seen the change. You guys have seen me cry, go through it. You guys have seen all of it if you've been with me for a long time. So, and I appreciate you guys. I'm just trying. I'm trying to do what makes me happy. And it's so not fair that because it's so not fair. Even, and this makes me want to become, I don't even know what would I call that job. Like somebody who advocate for women who are, or people, like no one should have control over your life. No one should try to do anything to you to stop you from living the life that you want to live. That is so unfair. Like, I don't do that to people. Like, I'm not trying to stop him from living the type of life that he wants to live. Live your life. But why are you trying to stop me from living the life that I want to live? Like, you know? And I think that's what it is that they don't want to see you live the life that you want to live. They want to see you live the life that they envision for you. And you can't let them have that. You can't. And I'm refused to let anybody try to have that over me. Not anymore. People have controlled me my whole entire life. I've always done what someone else want me to do. I'm no longer doing that. I don't know. That don't sit well with my spirit. Hold on, guys. That doesn't sit well with my spirit. Like, I just know. I've always done what other people wanted me to do. I'm so tired of that. That is so bullshit. Like, I've never done that to anybody. Why do you want to do that to me? And that's what I'm learning in all of this too. Like, this is also a teaching moment for me because I'm seeing the patterns that I've lived through. I'm seeing the patterns that I've lived and did through these experiences that's been happening. Like, I've been noticing a lot of patterns these last months that I have been able to like reflect and see things for what it is, and like what I'm doing wrong or what I need to work on or things like that. Like, I'm seeing a lot of it, and I'm noticing that I'm always putting um I'm always doing what other people want me to do, and it's like, no. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna choose my happiness. I'm not gonna choose somebody else's happiness because that's what they want, and I don't want to hurt them, but I want to choose what makes me happy. And if moving or traveling or, you know, um, doing what I want to do and make someone else unhappy while it makes me happy, I'm gonna choose me, and that's self love. Like, that is showing me that I love myself because the day that I left that relationship, I chose me. I chose my life. I chose to survive. I chose to live another day. I chose not to be beaten anymore. I chose not to have my hair pulled in the middle of my sleep. I chose not to get cut. I chose not to get choked. I chose not to have to pick up after a grown man. No, I chose me. I chose me, and I chose the happiness of my kids. And that is exactly what I'm going to keep on choosing. And I feel bad that my kids have to suffer through this experience, but I have to let it play out the way that God intended to. I have to. There's nothing that I can really do. I just have to let God do what He does best. and watch him work. Like literally, every time something happens in my life, I think about David. I think about Joseph. I think about how much God let Saul go after David, and David still showed compassion and love and respect. And I think about that. I think about how God took off life, took 15 years away from Hezekiah's life because he didn't care what happened to the next generation. He didn't care that it was something in the Bible. I forgot which book it is, but I think it's Hezekiah. He didn't care that um, it was going to affect the next generation. He didn't care about that. He didn't care that it was something was gonna affect the next generation because he wasn't gonna be alive. So he didn't care. And God took 15 years off of his life because he didn't care. I think about those moments. Every decision, every time I make a decision, I think about God and I think about a story in the Bible and how it will affect me and my children, how it will affect my future. And that's why I can't give up because I'm thinking about my kids' future. Like, I'm thinking about when these boys, they're in young grades right now, but these boys are going to turn into teenagers. They're going to turn into middle schoolers. They're going to turn into kids that are like, that are going through a lot of emotional stuff because if you've which we all have, we've all been a teenager before, we've all been an adolescent. We went through some crazy shit at that time in our life, and I'm just thinking about I gotta be there for those moments. I cannot let this go on anymore because I'm gonna be missing a significant moments in my life, in my kid's life. And I cannot let that happen. I just can't. But he doesn't see that. He's not thinking about their future. He's thinking about just right now, I can hurt her. Right now, I can have what I want right now. But he ain't thinking about the actual well-being of my kids and of the kids and what they're gonna need and how are they gonna get through it, how he's gonna raise them. He's not thinking about that. But you gotta let it play out the way it needs to play out, right? I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my story. Things are hard, but I'll make it through. I have to trust that something better is coming with this. It's just sad. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.